Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to round number 3 of the GT3 Championship Season 4. We're at Watkins, Glen. Oh yes, my name is John Wright, aka Double O Raven. Joining me once again, the unbelievable co-coms that he is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Sean Madden. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening, John. Thank you for that great intro there, John. Really appreciate it, and really looking forward to see what kind of action is going to take place here in round 3.
Indeed, an action there will be, spoiler alert, there may be some precipitation. We have had 2 rounds already. Sean and I have been presiding over both of them. Of course, the 1 hour race with the mandatory pit stop requirement. We've got 30 minutes of quali with 3 splits taking 10 minutes each out on the track. The pros graciously rubbering the track in, although there won't be much of that going on today in quali, for the AMs to take their place, and it's given us some incredible results. Sean, and Watkins Glen tonight should see some more, but Spa was a cracker as well.
Spa indeed was an absolute cracker, and there were a few surprises along the way, that's for sure. Looking at the results from Spa, P1 went to Brogan Dyer, with P2 Chris Vining, P3 went to Damien Konzik, and the fastest lap to him as well with that 2 minutes 16.527. In the silver splits, Fabian Goldie took the checkered flag first, and Lucas Ludka got P2, and Robert Webber in P3, with Arnold Delazeus with the fastest lap, 2 minutes 17.627. Onto the AM split, it was Jakob Gromowski that got the race win for the amateurs, with Ronak Khan getting that P2, and Alex Perry with that P3, and Jacob Gromowski got the fastest lap for the amateurs with that 2 minute 18.535. As always, guys, top 3 in each split will get a success penalty. First gets 20 seconds, second gets 15, and third gets 10 seconds, John.
Indeed, they do a phenomenal way of working the stand-ins, and at the moment it is Konzig, Young and Van der Steeg that are comfortably leading the way in the pros. In the silvers, it is De La Zeus, mentioned there a couple of times by Mr. Sean, leading the way. Lucas Ludke in second, only 2 points behind, and 2 points behind Mark Martins and Chris Bell, only a point ahead of Fabian Gold. It's going to go right down to the wire. A couple of drop rounds as well, of course. I don't think we're going to see anyone winning any of these splits after 4 rounds. And in the arms, it is Perry, Khan and Haugstad that are leading the game, leading the way again. Only a point or 2 separating the drivers in the top 5. But Scott does have a 9-point advantage over Ashraf. So we'll see how the top 5 in the arms. Of course, we've got a few wild cards racing as well. Drivers that can't take place in the whole series. They are tabulated on SimGrid, but we won't bring you those ever-changing results due to the fact that it is an ever-changing scene of drivers. Let's talk about an ever-changing scene, Sean. Picture the beautiful New York countryside, the sound of many, many engines, while rain bounces off the hood. One of the most engaging racetracks on the planet to drive, and you're going to be practically married if engagement is the thought process, because the rain, well, it's falling mainly on the racing line this evening, maybe not in Spain, and it looks like it's going to lessen a bit. I mean, yeah, I can wax lyrical. 3.5 miles of driving and racing perfection. And quali is, again, making it interesting from the start.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, of course, a very rain-soggy circuit, Watkins Glen, very technical circuit, and particularly the inner loop is where it can cause a few issues, especially on the first lap. Add into that the rain, and yeah, anything can kick off in the early stages of this race, John.
Yeah, it really can. It's going to be an interesting one. Oh, full sideways. Callum Scotland going for style points and pole position. He's only 400ths behind Michael Thomas, MT28 Coaching. He's doing the advertising for the coaching business. Not too bad. Leading a solid field with a solid time as well. Vining 2.5 tenths behind. A lot of drivers 6 tenths behind there. We can see Van der Steeg, Farmer, Van der Hoek and Kolesnikau all at the 6 tenths mark. Van der Steeg has just yellow flagged and he's stationary. He's just crossed the line. No improvement. Callum Scotland, everyone's favourite tartan-clad racer, is still out on a lap, but Thomas secures another half a second during the track evolution. It's all gone in Thomas's favour. We've seen Scotland full sideways. Under normal circumstances that wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, but in these conditions it might actually catch you a break. But no, it is Thomas who is in the wild cards. Takes the top spot by half a second there, Sean. So the connotations here, I'll run through the top 10 in a moment for the pros. We've always seen the silvers and the AMs mix it up with the pros at the top. We've just seen, due to track evolution, Thomas, whose car has merged with, there he is there, go half a second quicker right at the death of qualifying. We're going to see silvers at the front of the pack here potentially because the track's about to dry up.
Yes, indeed, it's definitely going to be a lopsided grid, that is for sure, and certainly quite a few surprising names at the top of the grid, as of course, John, you'll get to read out in a second. But yeah, this is only going to lead to some very intense and exciting racing.
It is indeed. Yeah. How is the track going to be when the race actually starts? One thing that we don't see often in these races is one driver taking all 3 purple sectors, given the conditions and the time difference. I don't think it's a massive surprise to see that Thomas has done that. Did someone say AMR Meta? 3 V8 Vantages taking the top 3 spots in qualifying, with a Mercedes just behind. It's Van der Steeg on row 2 with Vining, and Scotland making his way onto row 1 in second. Damien returning champion, Konzig in 5th place with Farmer and Van der Hoek in 6th and 7th. Kolesnikau in 8th place with Jerome Jongen, the top featured Mustang, just ahead of Declan Brogan in the top performing Lamborghini. How is that machine going to do in the wet? Asking every single person watching. Scott Ticehurst, he knows his way around a Lamborghini, and he's just behind Tice Payne and Glen Choi on row number 6. Christophe Papai joining Ticehurst on row 7. The Ferrari of Athenstad just ahead of Gibson in the starting order. And even between the pros, Sean, absolutely unheard of in QRT shores, there is 2 seconds separating 16 drivers. It's usually 2.5 tenths, but the conditions here, oh, we're in for a treat. I keep saying that, I'm going to be hammering on, but yeah, this is, yeah, it just really is building to the perfect storm for tonight's entertainment.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we to be honest, John, you know, we normally come to expect the usual suspects near the top, but certainly it's a bit of a mixed grid, and it does show you that the rain really does play havoc with the drivers. I was going to say to you, John, screen share is frozen for me. Is there any chance I can yeah, have that reset? Thank you.
Is that it running now?
Yes, brilliant.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Yeah.
There we go. Technology is my best friend. Yeah, so, sorry, we've got that fixed up. Stratos is in the chat. Yes, there is rain. There is rain. I can neither confirm nor deny. I spent my lunch break today doing a rain dance. Those photos will be available at another point in time. But yes, there is plenty of rain. Stratus, welcome in. Tom Wegman in the chat. How are you guys this evening? It's Watkins, Glen. It's wet. We've got some of the most talented side-by-side drivers on the planet about to duel it out for an hour, Tom. I think we'll all know how I am doing. Coulthard in the chat. Scotland must be a master in this weather. Indeed. This is a sunny Saturday morning for Mr. Scotland, I can assure you. We've also had a couple of follows this evening as well. Ivano EAB, thank you very much for the follow. Leon Wessel's in the chat as well. He's having to work this evening. He wasn't, so he's not going to make it tonight. Brogan Dyer, he's got a chest infection and high temperatures. Are you still driving? No, sorry. Declan Brogan is driving. Brogan Dyer. Right, okay, yeah, we'll make sure. That voice there, says Stratos. You know, my apologies. And we've also got Frank Trevin, mixed Scottish. Well, I'll take my first pro poll. Absolutely take a bow. I remember the days when you were an up and coming was that 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Now casually taking poll in the pros. And I tell you, if only some foresighted commentator had said, yeah, he'll do well in the pros. They called it favouritism. No, it was just an unbelievable eye for a talent. There we go. Frank Drebin. Phenomenal films. Good evening and welcome. And Mindark is in as well. Wet Glens, this is going to be fun. It is indeed. And we've got Darryl in as well. Howdy. Every commentator in the world gets me and Declan mixed up. You know what the problem is? The two of you are honest enough to use your actual names on Twitch. A lot of people have different names on every single platform. And when there's 42 cars with 4 drivers in each car and you've all got different names on Twitch, Discord and in the race, it definitely does not get confusing. Said no commentator ever. You can just
no comment on that.
Let's hear it for the pen and paper. We've got the drivers, we've already got the silvers making their way up into the top 10. It is Fabian Goldie, Rapid Racing, once again living up to that title. Andre De La Zeus clocking some good times as well, sitting 15th position, and it is Sullivan in 18th place overall. Cameras please, thank you. Pause for dramatic effect. In the QRT esports car, 18th overall, 3rd in position in a solid gaggle of silver cars that are changing position. The battle of the Webbers is spicing up nicely as well. 600s between these brethren BMW drivers, Sean, and the one in arrears is currently a 10th up, about to head into the boot section. This is the type of added little bit of spice we love in these races.
Yes, indeed. And I was going to ask you actually, John, are Max and Robert brothers at all? Because they're also in the same cars as well. Okay, so
I think they're brothers, cousins. They're definitely related through blood. Yes. There's a few of them I keep. The problem I've had in the past is people have memed me and told me that someone was a father and grandson and granddad, and they were like brother and uncle or dad, and it was just it was an in-joke about one of them being old, and I bought straight into that and ended up throwing somebody completely under the bus by calling him a granddad when he was like 28 years old. So,
so no talk about going through the generations then. Well, this could get a little bit confusing because they're both in the same cars, but luckily we have got car numbers, so Robert Webber will be in the car number 94 and Max Webber will be in car number 646. But certainly in the same split. It doesn't make it easy for us, John.
No, it doesn't, and they're going to be right on top of one another going through turn 1 at the moment because they're inseparable in the timing charts. Goldie at the minute getting some slipstream up the hill, like that's even a thing in these conditions. Does have the Mercedes, and you can tell he uses bonnet view because his window wiper's not on. We're coming along the back stretch into the bus stop chicane. This is going to be absolute hair and scare 'em. I mean, the track is now registered as damp. Some of these drivers might actually be out on dry tyres. Hoping it warms up. The AMs are going to have an absolute field day, and I am here for it. As a perpetual AM driver, I would like to say a huge thank you on behalf of the AM community for letting us go last and letting the pros and the silvers. Let's face it, they should have the most difficult conditions to qualify in because they're the better drivers. There is no flaw in my logic, Sean. Am I correct?
Supposedly. Supposedly. Yes, indeed. John, there was one thing I was going to ask you again.
Yes.
So my screen share is frozen again on practice, so I'm not 100% sure what the technicals are suggesting tonight, but I have no footage other than the stream, unfortunately.
Right, okay. Let me throw my PC out the window. No,
try again. There we go, we're back. And we're in qualifying this time.
Yes, we are. There we go.
There we go. Right. Fantastic. So yeah, we've got just the amateurs to come then, John, with 8 minutes 30 left on the clock, and the silver drivers just about set their lap times, I think.
Indeed, yeah, they've just come to the end of qualifying, and it is Fabian Goldie that finds himself on the top spot. De La Souce and Sullivan joining him in the overall top 20, in fact. So, oh no, sorry, my apologies, Glenovsky. He has just popped in a good lap that sees him go 15th overall. Not too shabby at all. We can bring up a timetable. Allegedly, yes, we can, in fact. Goldie there, 1.3 seconds off the top spot, so the conditions not quite evolving enough in the favour of the silvers to all make their way charging past the pros. But you can see a good bit of separation there for Goldie. He's got a whole 2 rows worth of drivers separating him from Glenovsky, who's going to be side by side into the 90 in a enter any guess as to track condition here. On lap number 1, we do have Ben Sullivan gazumped at the end and kicked off the starting podium positions, but still inside the top 20. Chris Bell, 21st overall, going to be a car separating him and Sullivan. They've had a fun season so far. We'll see if that solid racing trend continues. I think it will. Danny McCutcheon just behind Kranz with Flint Wilson, Martins and Loon outside the top 25, but still just inside the top 10 of the silvers. The Webber brothers, as Roberts taking the bragging rights from qualifying by less than a tenth of a second. That's rivalry right there. Max, 29th position overall. At the moment, the track in the next 10 minutes, or 6 minutes, could get a lot drier, and we could see a few of the AMs make their way up into that top 20, I would say, Sean.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it does seem to be a little bit dry, but of course, John, this is the tricky window, isn't it? Is whether or not is it better to be on the wet tyres or is it better to be on the slick tyres? Either way, you could get your tyre pressures wrong, whether it's too high or too low. So it's a very, very tricky situation for the amateur drivers. But it does seem like, John, that it's an ever-improving track conditions, because Hallstad gone up into P26 overall for the grid, P1 for the amateurs, John. So
yeah, a good start. Puts himself right in the middle of the silver grid. We'll see if Borowick can do a good run. Good, phenomenal mix of cars again. We've got multiple Hondas, we've got an Audi, we've got a Mercedes in the overall top 5, 3 Aston Martins leading the way. We've got another Honda out in qualifying. Wegman didn't set a time. That's flown under my radar there. My apologies, Tom Wegman. He's been in the chat. I didn't even think he was in the chat and everything. And yeah, hasn't set a quality time. Ooh.
That is rather interesting, because of course Wegman of course didn't finish the race last round as well.
Okay, yeah, right enough.
So it seemed like maybe Tom can confirm with us whether or not he had internet problems or not. But oh, he's got a quali ban, John, for this round.
Okay. Quali ban, right. That might be a blessing in disguise when we're going to turn 1 in these conditions. Yeah, because it is going to be very changeable. 26 degrees as well, so it's not exactly the warmest track. I'm guessing Haugstad is on wet tyres because he's just driven on the wet part of the track. So yeah, Haugstad is out on wets, I would say. We'll see how he gets on with those. In fact, we can... yeah, he is on wets. You can see the massive grooves there. One of the benefits of the front right wheel camera, we do love it. Great shot into turn number 1. A whole lot of care being taken there by Haugstad. Hajo Horman is out. Oh, I didn't see him earlier in the qualifying. He did finish massively well last week. He got the, in the podium overall, but he is a wild card. So yeah, so the red markers are for wild cards and for the arms. I think I'm about to be told that Haugstad, is he in the is he actually a wild card? Is the question I'm now asking myself. Yeah, we will find out.
Yeah, we've got a long list here, but yeah, can't find him.
Yeah, there is a long list, so we'll see when he pops up. I'm sure Harry's in the chat and he will let us know. He did put some numbers in, but I'm not sure Haugstad was one of them. Borowick has... Ooh, he's just set a good sector and lost a whole lot of time. Alex Perry in the Shrek's Evo. Very good livery in the Honda. He is looking to make a big jump up. Doing well with the conditions at the moment. Oh, good exit up the hill. Such a tricky corner, even in dry conditions. We're coming up that hill in the wet. It is, yeah, not lots of fun. Tyre watch. Yep, he's on the wets.
John, just need to confirm with you. Hallstad is amateur driver. Currently P3 for the amateurs, and 5th position last time out as well.
Right, okay. So that shows you how close it is. He got 5th last week and he's 3rd in the championship. A good mix of results right through the field, and of course the success penalties working absolute wonders. Across the line for Perry, jumps up the field as I thought he would. He actually lost a couple of tenths at the last corner, just as Borowick goes quicker than up. Right behind him, Borowick finds a 1/10 of a second or two and jumps back ahead of Perry, the Honda and the Audi. 31st and 34th overall, just behind the top 3 ARM drivers, so very much still in the hunt for a pole position in their class. And yeah, they're doing well up the field at the moment. The Pistols livery. Oh, nice.
Yeah, very, very nice. Bit of advertising there as well, I don't know. Saw a label on the side there. But yeah, very, very beautiful, and yeah, a vast array of liveries up and down the grid, John. I can
love to see it.
Yeah, love to see all these very creative and I wouldn't say unusual, but certainly certainly a whole yeah, a whole heap of liveries there as we see the Powerpuff Girls, which I can't say that I watch too much, John, but certainly a car that you can't miss.
I've never seen any.
Anyone in chat, if you can confirm if you've watched the Powerpuff Girls, let us know if it's worth watching.
How accurate the livery is.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be quick. He's got the power. He's got pole position. So doing well in the arms at the moment. So the Powerpuff Power is powering him along. Although we've got Jakob Borowick, who is about to come out of the last corner. And I think he's about to borrow that pole position, if I'm being honest. The Audi looking very quick in the evolving track, and he goes a 10th quicker. Not to be outdone though. Alex Perry could be a flying augment, and in fact, never mind that, Basteri here at the death, Sean, he is 3/10 up. In fact, Granowitz is 5/10 up. The track evolution has been incredible. Horman is a wild card and very quick, so we're going to ignore him. Sorry, Hadjo. But yeah, Haugstad and the rest of them, they really are benefiting from this track evolution. Crystal 6/10 up on his lap at the moment, Sean. It's about to get spicy.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, barely a tenth between about 10 drivers here. Oh, actually, there is silvers in between, so actually, forget what I said there. But still very, very close between each driver. It looks like Rafe has put in his final lap time there. 2.3 seconds off the fastest lap time in P2, is it?
I will check. Sorry, let me check in a second. I'm going to see what happens when the Lamborghini comes across the line. 4th place by less than a tenth.
Stuff. Okay, yeah, I see now. Yeah, so P3 for Christoph. P4, sorry, for Christoph. P3 for Wraith. Sorry.
Yeah,
cool.
a lot going on, and I think Borwick. He's not going to extend his gap. So the Audi driver peels into the pits. But it looks like he has got pole position in the arms, all sewn up. As you can see there, yeah, Thomas is a wild card. So he is shown at the top of there. So is Thierry, so is Horman. Borwick is in the arm, so is Gromowski and Matcham. Oh my goodness me, Sean. It is bone dry. The sun is splitting the pavement. It's 28 degrees. Bring on the unbelievable amount of side-by-side action we are about to be treated to. We've got Goldie Glanowski and De La Zeus at the top of the silvers with Sullivan, Bell, Kranz and McCutcheon, as we saw earlier on, and that has left the overall grid with Thomas, and again 2 weeks on the trot we've had a wild card top the quali timetables. Scotland with the quicker, well, an even quicker promotion path than Wrexham United have managed. He's got himself up into the pro pole position with Thierry in the top 10. Goldie 11th place, so effectively 9th overall minus the wild cards in the silvers. And then Sean, we've got Borwick and Gronowski in the top 25, and we see a big group of arms: Basteri, Wraith, Crystal, Haugstad, Perry, all ahead of Wilson, Martins, Loon, the Webbers, and Luke Sherlock because of the way the track evolved. This is absolutely tantalising stuff.
Yes, it's certainly going to be very, very interesting because if form suggests anything, or even the car classes that the drivers are in suggest anything, then there's going to be an all different amount of pace between the drivers. And of course, I kind of compare the inner loop to All Rouge with Spa from the last round. So it could get a little bit congested, and certainly the drivers are going to have to be very careful. Some drivers are going to be maybe braver than others. It could cause a bit of chaos, but bring it on.
Exactly. It will certainly bring us some side-by-side action for everyone to enjoy. It's going to let me see if I can get access to... Nope, we can't quite yet. They do need to speed that up ever so slightly. But yeah, Thomas leading the way. As we can see, the success penalties from the championship standings being handed out. So it is Vining who finds himself with 20 seconds. Konzig with 5 seconds, although... Well, yeah, I will double check that. But yeah, Gromowski with the 20-second penalty. Harry furiously adding those before the drivers even get started. The one mandatory pit stop to take 6 rounds to settle the championship. No access to the drive button as yet. But Watkins Glen itself, Sean, we've touched on it already. It is an absolute dream to race around here. It is just, as I say, such an engaging track. Turn 1 through the S's and then into the inner loop, and you get a millisecond to catch your breath down the chute, and then you're into the boot complex. It's just, and it's, yeah, it can go either way very quickly, but when it goes well, it's just, as I say, it's engaging from start to finish, making your way around here, and side by side is just such a joy.
Yeah, certainly it's one of them circuits where it's very easy to get into a good rhythm, and once you're in that rhythm and you're taking the appropriate lines into the corners, it's certainly a great track to race around. But two side-by-sides, yes, you can do that, but it's very, very tricky with a lot of camber as well. So it's I mean, I can't call it from here, John. The grid is very mixed at the moment. We've got drivers with success penalties to serve as well. So literally, John, it's very, very hard to predict what is going to happen in this one.
Yeah, it really is. Some absolute talent right through the field. And of course as well, Tom Wegman on a quali ban, starting from the very back of the 42 car grid. There's going to be some serious overtaking action tonight. You can absolutely guarantee that. Lexus in the top 10. Can we once again get 3 cheers for the LFM bop? Hip, 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 hooray. Lexus, Mercedes, Mustang, Honda and Aston Martin all mixing it in the top 10. Then the Ferraris, the Lambos, the McLarens and the Beamers. Top Beamer, 16th position at the hands of Hajo Horman. He ain't no slouch, let's just put it that way. So yeah, the BMW finding some good competitors, and it does add so much again to the race, Sean, because a lot of these cars do have massively different characteristics in a lot of these corners.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, Ferrari tends to be good in the corners. It seems like the Aston Martins and the Mustangs of this world seem to be very, very good in straight line. Also, the Honda NSXs actually has proved the other week actually very, very good in the straight line. Of course, there's a little bit of everything around Watkins Glen. You've got the long straights, you've got the medium speed corners, you've got the hairpins, you've got the chicanes. So, it's going to be a very, very interesting start to this race, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really is. And then the strategy as well. It's a 1 hour race, it's a mandatory tyre stop, it's 28 degrees, Sean. The world is your oyster as far as your pit stop. Obviously there's the average weight argument. You want to take out 50% fuel, you want to take out just enough fuel, and then because putting in fuel won't affect the length of the pit stop because of the tyre change, you can come out with a slightly lighter car, but over the piece it's not going to make a huge difference. So people pitting at the end of lap 1 or the end of the penultimate lap, we're going to see a whole wide array here.
Yes, 100%. And well, I mean, at the moment the weather is looking like it's going to stay dry, but who knows if the rain will return on top of that. And also as well, one thing to note, John, the array of liveries on show today, I certainly think that would take my concentration away from the racing. Some absolute beautiful liveries there.
Yeah, there is. I've actually just caught one there. My apologies to Vedvik. I don't know if you just snuck in right at the end, but what a livery that is.
Beautiful.
A Viking party. There ain't no party like a Viking party. As the protagonist in Valheim, yep, I can agree with that. The liveries are incredible. Absolutely mind-blowing. Full respect to drivers, creators of liveries on this. Yeah, pole position. So what? It's the livery makers where it's at. But we're going to see those beautiful liveries traverse this beautiful race course for 1 hour. It's Thomas leading the way overall. It's Scotland and Vining effectively on the front row as we pass the pit lane, and the green light's putting down flat out and flying into turn number 1. Out of position drive-throughs have been handed out outside the top 25 as into turn number 1. We've got 3 wide inside the top 5 as the Mercedes holds on and actually takes the position. Oh no, sorry, stays behind Vining. It's the Honda Farmer who's absolutely flown up the rank. He's got ahead of Konzig, who's lost the position. Vining now down into 6th position. It's Vining that's dropped down the order. He is down 2 so far. Konzig down 1. Konislav up 1 spot. We've got Gibson up 4. Athenstad making good moves as well. So much going on as Canon Jusloon look to make it an interesting first crack at the inner loop. Hajo Horman has had an absolute horror start. We've got a car return to the pits in the top 2. That cannot be right. We'll let the telemetry catch up. Callum Scotland is definitely in 2nd place, so Michael Thomas leading the way. Van der Steeg is down the order slightly. Tyler Farmer is up in 2. Good luck anybody trying to keep up with what is going on here. Chris Vining in 5th place, Konzig in 6th. It's Kolesnikau in 7th position, Young and Thierry and Van der Hoek rounding out the overall top 10. Declan Brogan in the Lamborghini can feel some Scott Tyser's tango pressure as Tice Payne in the background. Oh, he sends it up the fuel inside.
Oh, contact!
And he's managed to save it, but he's lost 2 positions, Sean.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Luckily for the Tango man, that is Scott Tysers, just managed to keep the car on the circuit. Did lose a couple of positions there, but yeah, slight bit of contact to the car in front there, and luckily on lap 2 there. So you know, a long way to go in the race, but a little bit unfortunate as we see a lot of traffic behind there, John.
Yep, I'm going to go to a quick replay because I think it is a big one. It's right at the start. It is Hajo Horman in the BMW. Look at the view at Watkins Glen. No other track gives you that look. And you can see Horman here right in the middle of a solid path. Oh, slightly wavered Ferrari there. Oh, and he's coming the corner. Yep, so that was a monster pileup. There's still so much going on, but I wanted to get a quick look at what happened to a few of the drivers, because there is a few down the order. We will get to those in a moment. Gromowski looking to make an overtake on the inner loop. He is fending off the Fast and Furious BMW, which is in turn having a torrid time. Oh, just about losing the back of the car. We've got Chris Vining facing the wrong way and tumbling down the order. Chris Vining, I can't even catch him. He is moving down the order that quickly. He has tumbled to the back. Car 524 has absolutely disappeared off the grid. We can see him with a big brain car right behind him. Oh, looking for a move up the inside. Those signals to the inside. Vining hits that. Oh, that was. Oh, wow. The curves have absolutely destroyed him there. The QRT Mustang almost catches him. That is not a place you want to cook your tyres early race, Sean.
No, but good, you know, fair play to him though. Got on the brakes, allowed the drivers around him to get around him safely. That is. You know, great driving from him, but he is going to be absolutely kicking himself there. Perhaps a little bit of a passenger. It looked like I don't know what car that was, John, but the more contact.
Wow.
More contact. Wow, the domino effect kicking into play there, John.
Yes, it was Vedvik there that seemed to get caught up in that as they were exiting the boot section. Oh, and there's a Fast and the Furious car now facing the absolute wrong way. It's no, Martin's teammate is Kranz. Kranz for F&F. We've got a drive-through still to be served, or being served. Haustag serving a penalty for being out of position at the start. Kranz serving a penalty there, I think, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. There is a whole lot going on. We are just about at the end of the second lap. It is Michael Thomas who is still leading the way. Scotland, Van der Steeg 2nd and 3rd, Tyler Farmer up to 4th, and Konzig in 5th, Jongen and Thierry 6th and 7th, Kolesnikau in 8th, with Declan Brogan in 9th position. Mike Van der Hoek, we've got another yellow flag. We've got Tice Payne in 11th place. Tysers the 2nd in the Lamborghini race at the moment, just ahead of Big Brains Athenstad. He's got Mark Gibson in 14th place. Gibson with a good start, 8 positions he's made up. Delacy's up 3 overall, with Gromowski up 9 positions. Fabian Goldie has dropped off the silver podium, and in fact down 14 positions since the start of the race. And Ben Sullivan tumbling down the order as well. Oh, the Aston Martin is absolutely limping. I'll tell you who's not limping. Tom, 11 places so far, about to be 12 very soon. I would guesstimate Wegman, although his Ferrari does look like he's met the Incredible Hulk at some point in the previous couple of laps. Will I try and find a replay of that? There isn't one. So Wegman up 11, but a lot of damage being carried by the car. It is not even close between Thomas and Scotland up at the front. That's a 2-second gap that Thomas has got. He is shifting. It's Van der Steeg for me though. Great start for him so far. We've seen some dominance from these Aston Martins, Sean. We knew the Honda was going to do well, especially with Farmer behind the wheel. But Van der Steeg's got himself up in the third, and it is absolutely on merit behind the wheel of that Mercedes.
Yeah, Van der Steeg, huge pedigree, that driver, that's for sure. One of very few AMG drivers out there. He's up 2 positions from his P5 grid start, and yeah, looking very, very strong at the time being, but of course has got the very impressive Farmer just behind, just 4 tenths behind, in fact, with Konzik in P5 just behind that little train, battling for the last step on the podium. So yeah, he's definitely got it all to do. Definitely a huge pressure moment for him. Hopefully he can take it home. John, that side,
yes,
well, what's going on?
Yeah, no, sorry, big breath in. It was just to put a bit more clarity on that, sorry. Of course, with the overall race, it's very easy. So yeah, the overall podium, certainly the last step, but this is second and third in the pros that is being hunted down by fourth, of course, Scotland. Leading the ways in the pros. So Van der Steeg second in the pros with Farmer in third. So this is sideways Mercedes. He's held on to the back of that. How on earth has he held on to the back of that? He's not going to hold on to the position because Tom Farmer is in a Honda. He nailed turn 1 like that thing was on absolute rails. Van der Steeg almost losing the grip. He's not lost the slipstream along the back straight. Into the chicane they go. Farmer's got his nose in front. The Mercedes is going to be good on the brake. There's no traction in the Honda below a certain speed. Oh, drive-through for speed in the pit lane. That's made a bad start and worse for one of the cars down the grid. That's 999. I believe that might be Chris Bell or Luke Sherlock. I will have a look down the order as Sean will furiously check his notes as well. The consummate professional that he is. That's why he's here at Ravencoms. We've got the boot section. This is a battle that is heating up. Someone in the chat did say that we're only here to see Tyler Farmer win in the Honda. Whoever that is, do feel free to speak up. We'll get you in the commentary box anytime you want, because that is yeah, absolutely. It's looking like a good prediction at the moment. No shade to Callum Scotland whatsoever. Farmer is a monster behind the wheel of that thing at the minute, and he is already leaving clear air between himself and that Mercedes. I was not long ago waxing lyrical about the start, and yeah, still a phenomenal start for Van der Steeg, but Farmer looking to throw a bit of shade over that one. Scott Ticehurst is looking to tango a few drivers ahead, and Glen Choi as well. He's got Christophe Papai in the BMW, and Dale Zeus, lead driver in the silvers, just ahead of them. We've got Wraith and Flint involved in a battle as well. Trying to get down the order here, so much going on. And here is a sentence I did not think I would say. We will soon be seeing Chris Vining and Tom Wegman battling for 35th position. Do not adjust your audio. That was a statement, and it is so close between the two of them, Sean. We're on board with Wegman. He literally, Vining is about to come out of the pits.
Yes, so yeah, certainly drivers you don't expect to be this far down on the grid. I certainly think so far in this championship, Wegman's really been very unlucky. He should be a driver in the sort of top 5 drivers of the pros, but yeah, finds himself, of course, didn't qualify, so finds himself overall P36 with Vining, as you said, just coming out in front of him. So yeah, we could definitely see some close and intense racing between them, although it does look like Wegman has oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong person there.
Yeah, Wegman unlapping himself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, has 4.3 seconds behind Viney at the moment, but we do know that he has got the pace, John, and could quite easily close the gap on many a driver in front of him. And also, Sullivan was, yeah, you're on him now, isn't it? Yeah. Yep.
So I knew it was Sullivan, Bell, or Sherlock.
Yeah.
That number just rang a bell. Goodness, somebody sack this man. His dad jokes and puns are disastrous. We've got Adam Miserri though. He is certainly living up to the Synergy Racing name at the moment. He has got some great synergy running with that Dunkin' Donuts machine. He'll be dunking a few donuts if he can get himself past Ashraf. This is a phenomenal little battle that these two are having as well. We do try and cover as much of the action down the grid when there's 44 cars. There may be a couple of overtakes that we do miss, and with the action that we get up at the front, oh, it's sometimes hard to take your eyes off the top spots. Kolesnikov, for instance, we need to get him a nicer livery on that bonnet because he is all over the back of Jerome Jongen. What a run he's got through the on the way out of the inner loop into the outer loop down into the boot. The rapid racing driver is full offense here on Jerome Jongen, absolutely piling the pressure, not quite able to get more than the front bumper alongside the Mustang, doing a great job on the corner exits, and Jerome Jongen absolutely defending for his life here at the moment, and Kolesnikov is all for getting another Mercedes into the top 6, and if it happens to be at the expense of the QRT driver, then absolutely so be it. This is an absolute masterclass at the moment from the Mercedes, Sean. He's probing at every opportunity. We've just seen there Jongen almost losing the back of the car. That pressure might be starting to tell a bit, and Kolesnikov, he's going to be there to lap it up.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Kolesnikov looking very, very strong at Watkins Glen. Of course, Jongen got P4 in the last round. Kolesnikov with that P10. But yeah, certainly it does look like the AMG driver is going to get a good run out of turn 1. And Jongen taking the inside line, defending for his life. It looked like Kolesnikov had to back off slightly, John, but as we go up the hill and to the inner loop, can he get there before him?
Indeed, that slipstream is going to be strong. The grip on Jongen's wheel is going to be strong after that corner exit there. Almost losing the back just after I mentioned is the pressure piling. Oh, and Kolesnikov just a bit too close there through the inner loop, and Jerome Jongen will have slightly less of a Mercedes badge in his rear view mirror at the moment as they head into the boot. Still incredibly close between these two. Another brewing battle that is tantalising to think of. Thijs Payne versus Declan Brogan, Mercedes versus Lambo. That one's spicing up nicely, and as well Rainier Attenstad. Of course, one of the big brain racing drivers, and we all know that the big brain racing team, they've not just got big brains, they have got some serious talent behind the wheel. The O'Sullivan dynasty will rule sim racing one day. You heard it here first. If you don't know, get to know. Athenstad, another worthy addition to their team. And he's looking to keep up with Ticehurst and Van der Hoek. These two having a cracking little dance as well. It's Fast and Furious Ferrari versus Tango Lamborghini. You love to see it, and you also love to see Kolesnikov. Sorry, we're going to have to go back up here. It's 2 tenths through the last time in line. You see Ticehurst just clipping the wall in the background, and that's another good exit by the Mercedes, Sean, as they head up the hill again. Sickens out round 4.
Indeed, yeah, it's a big drag race up the hill. Can the AMG outpower the power of the outpowered the power? Can he get on past the Mustang driver of Jongen It doesn't look like it. It does look like that Mustang is certainly very, very strong in a straight line. It does look like somehow... Oh, he's not going to, because he goes wide. It just scrapes the wall on the outside, and that has cost him a couple of positions there, John.
Yeah, it really has. Andre Thierry says, thank you very much indeed. I was enjoying the battle that you two were having. I'm now going to engage with the Mustang myself. Kolesnikov taking stage exit left on the way out of the inner loop. He's put himself right onto the back wing. Oh, he's put himself right in the middle of Tice Payne and Declan Brogan. I feel absolutely terrible that I am happy Kolesnikov has made that mistake. It is absolutely such a terrible... but yeah, that is what a battle we are now going to have. As a commentator, this is the moment. See, absolutely wrong. Look how close he's got. He's almost bumped after him. Yep, full contact there. He's absolutely tagged him in the rear end there, unfortunately. And that has put Declan Brogan's Lamborghini behind Tice Payne. Yes, it has. He's backed right out of the corner there. Gentlemanly driving from Declan, as always. Took one on the rear splitter there. It sent him round it the wrong way. And as you say, Sean, that is 3 positions lost. And he has now got Tice Payne and Van der Hoek to get repassed as Kolesnikov disappears off.
Yeah, unfortunately, John, I mean, it is so close between the drivers across the grid that it only takes one mistake or slip up and you could lose many a position, as we see a bit of a battle going into the inner loop. But it did seem that Konzik thought better of it and looked to get past that red AMG of Van der Steeg in the corners coming up. But looking on the replay now, we saw that he had a huge bit of drag going up the hill, and of course Van der Steeg had every right to defend.
Beautiful defensive move. It's one of my favourite moves. I pulled it against my friend on the Red Bull Ring in the F4s, and yeah, completely, as you say, completely legitimate. Show them the inside line and then squeeze them over so that they have to use a lot more of the brake, because of course centrifugal force is very much a thing when you're trying to corner in a race car. And yeah, the tighter you are at the corner, the less speed you can carry through. So Van der Steeg, seeing the Konzik coming, squeezes them over onto the inside line. But I think this could be a bit of a losing battle. 42 minutes of Damien Konzik behind you, and we know Konzik can sit here. The round 1 of this, he was behind the race leader for an average gap of 0.4 of a second for an hour.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that is definitely one driver you don't want behind you, because he is like a wasp, isn't he, John? He just doesn't leave anyone alone. Just, yeah, absolute machine. He's got slightly wide that turn 1 there, but
let's talk about machines. Tyler Farman here, talk us through this, because they are lapping a couple of cars that have taken their pit stop, but he is now, Sean, within half a second of pro leader Callum Scotland. That race-winning prediction for the Honda driver is looking ever closer. We're only 19 minutes in, and he's made up 2.1 seconds to get surely within touching distance of the race lead here.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Scotland had a phenomenal qualifying session. It did seem like the rain really suited the tartan Scottish driver in Scotland, but yeah, Farmer with huge pedigree and has done brilliantly to close that gap to within just over half a second there. Certainly starting to look strong as we go through the boot and on to the hill, and we'll see how many attempts he can pull on Scotland, perhaps make a move in half a lap or so, John.
You'll certainly be lining one up. They'll be thinking about their pit strategies as well. But as I say, 19 minutes into the race, we've got more battles going on. They're still absolutely coming thick and fast. Glen Choi all over the back of Christophe Papai. Another driver rocking an absolute cracking livery. Gratuitous use of that camera once again. Mark Martins has just found himself overtaken. Look, Sherlock in the mix and taking places as well for Sherlock's Automotive Repairs. On the side of the car, that I've advertised, love to see it. Out of the pits we have quite a few cars, 10 of them, that have taken their pit stop. It's Ticehurst that is atop that pile. De La Souce in the silvers has been in and out of the pits, and Tom Wegman is ahead of Chris Vining.
Wow.
So Wegman has overturned the lead that Vining had, and now finds himself ahead.
It was about 4.5 seconds, I think, John.
He's now
the gap
7
last
seconds
time.
ahead.
Wow. So then perhaps a slight mistake from Vining, which can easily be done, particularly in the inner and outer loop section. So hopefully we can get some more information on what happened there. But Wegman, of course, very, very fast driver, and certainly showing some good pace right now, John.
Oh, absolute. Absolutely nailing it, I think. Okay, so Vining has been involved in an incident.
Right,
Let's
okay.
see, this is the Ferrari head. I'm heading towards the inner loop, and it's one of these things where we have seen contact. Oh, so he moved out of the way, came back in. Oh, much later on the brakes. Yeah, and he's actually held his brakes there and waited for the other driver to get back on track. So he may still face a penalty. It may well be reduced slightly though, given the sporting conduct shown, and it's cost him quite a bit of time. But yeah, it's one of those things we've just seen contact in the rear for Declan Brogan, and it's something that we touched on at the start of the broadcast. The difference in characteristics between many of the cars around this course, it really can lead just very innocuously, completely accidental, to these types of differences in braking zone, are these contacts from things like the difference in braking zone, even if it is only by 3-4 yards. That can make all the difference when you're north of 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, especially if you're quite close to the car in front as well, and visibility perhaps not the best, and you're almost guessing where the sort of braking points are. And a bit sideways from McCutcheon. And lucky not to collect a couple of cars there, but
Collected at least one.
Oh, did he collect one there?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. I think. Yeah, he did.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, QRT car in the side panel there for Danny McCutcheon. The poor's just not gripping on that corner exit, and yeah, the pace that you carry through a very tight turn one is pretty incredible. It reminds me of Autopolis almost. That turn one where there's just an absolute horrifying amount of pace you can actually carry through that corner if you get it right. Speaking of getting a corner right, let's see if Farmer can get turns 1, 2 and 3 right and look for a move on his way in or out of the inner loop, or is he going to keep his powder dry till the outer loop? The Honda driver looking to take the top spot in the pros. Thomas looking to take a clean sweep of everything. He's got the fastest lap at the moment by a few tenths of a second. He took pole position in the qualifiers as well. The Aston Martin just absolutely tearing away from the Honda there. That is quite a sight. The Honda is, it's no certainly got the top end, but it's no slouch in a straight line there. Scotland's Aston Martin making a mock there, Farmer's attempt to catch him on his way into the inner loop. It's going to be quite the game of cat and mouse between these two. Farmer with a very good apex on his way through the boot section. Looking down the order, you can see Tice Paint is still close to Van der Hoek. Farmer really throwing it at that apex. Good rotation, good turn up the hill, really using the corner exit, really using the steering wheel to keep the car between the Mayo and the Mustard as it threatened to let go. That wasn't a threat that Farmer was willing to pay any heed of, and he has kept it going. He really is pushing here, Sean. There is absolutely no denying he is on the ragged edge, as perfectly highlighted by that steering wheel motion. He is on, he's on it at the minute.
Yeah, ragged edge indeed, John. You can see that he's really fighting the steering wheel to keep the car under control through the corners. So it does show you the pace that Scotland has at the moment, who looks, you know, the smoother of the drivers at the minute, but we know that if Farmer can get close enough to Scotland going up this flat out section, that he could perhaps challenge Scotland, but it does seem like Scotland is just pulling away at the minute, and a little bit frustrating for Farmer, who certainly wants to grab his first win of the season.
Indeed, yeah. Titanic struggle between the two. We'll see if Farmer tries to go for the undercut anytime soon. We've still got battles brewing with Tice Payne, Declan Brogan just behind him, but he's got right on the back of Van der Hoek in the Ferrari. This one brewing nicely, and it's going to play right into the hands of Brogan as well. Given how close he is getting, we know he likes to craft out an overtake, and he is very good at it. He's sporting delivery as well as having the option to come in and take his pick, go for a double undercut potentially. That could be on the cards. But yeah, fascinating little game of cat v mouse v dog. You would say Ferrari, McLaren and Lamborghini. Well, certainly a bull and a prancing horse. I'm not sure what animal could get to represent McLaren, but it's quite the Titanic. Oh, speaking of Titanic, Christophe Papai has made himself a Titanic mistake after a very quick pit stop as well. Okay, that'll explain why his pit stop was 2 seconds quicker. He's been given a stop go 30 second. That is Mike Wilson. That's not how I meant to highlight. My apologies. There's Christophe Papai there. And he's stationary as well, coming out of the pits.
What has happened there?
Yeah, that's gone from bad to worse, Sean. He comes out of the pits. He's got a Ferrari on the outside of him. He stays inside the yellow line. The Ferrari's definitely got the pace.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Absolutely nothing he could do there, and headed. I mean, obviously two don't really go into one, but how it transpired coming out to the pits, coming out of the pits, and perhaps the driver on the outside just not being aware. It was inevitable there was going to be a bit of contact, but you really don't want to have contact into the wall when you've literally just come out of the pits, John.
Yeah, no, that is not what you need, especially if you're given a stop go 30-second penalty. So he's going to get the damage repaired now. He has to come into the pits anyway, and the race leaders, that's them making their way past. We've got big moves in the pits. Just down the field, it's Van der Hoek who has come in. Glen Choi is in as well, so we'll see where they are compared to Ticers. I do expect them to be a bit up the road. Matchum in the Power Puffs, apologies about everything that's going on. We haven't mentioned the arms. Well, we've mentioned Gromowski, of course, 13th position overall, but James Matchum, who took pole in the arms, currently in second in the arms, but Gromowski does have that 20-second success ballast.
John, I can actually confirm that Matcham is actually in the wildcards, which does add to the confusion here.
Indeed. Nice. So it's just Gromowski that's winning, and it's Bestieri that is in second place then.
Indeed. Yeah, very, very confusing for us in comms, and I'm sure very confusing for people in chat. But yes, unfortunately, Matcham is a wild card, so we may get our wires crossed from time to time. But yeah, certainly doing a good job in the wild cards, though.
Yeah, they really are. Kolesnikov doing a good job in the top 10. He's got Thierry, another wild card, just ahead of him. And they are chasing one another very vigorously at the moment. We've got... where is Farmer? I did see him coming into the pits. I can see Wegman up in 25th position. There is Matcham there. Van der Hoek is shown as the top driver. I can't see Tyler Farmer at the moment. My apologies. He's...
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think he's been disconnected from the server.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. That is very, very unfortunate. Yeah.
That is heartbreaking. What a battle that was. Let me... Sorry, we've got a couple of bots. Ban. There we go. There we go, yeah, Broken Tire in the chat. MVDH is flying by in the lead, aiming high. Oh yeah, Thomas is coming. Oh my, I absolutely panicked there. I thought Thomas had been disconnected, but he's in the pits. That is why Scotland has the overall lead, but that is absolutely heartbreaking for Tyler Farmer. He was absolutely in the hunt for a pro win, and he has been truly disconnected from the server, unfortunately.
It does though mean that I mean, controversially, which is probably not controversially, but one of John's favourite drivers could get a ceremonious victory if he keeps to this kind of pace, because we already know that Konzik will have to serve a 10-second success penalty, so that should leave him reasonably comfortable, John.
I mean, as comfortable as you can be when you're being chased by Damien Konzik, that is for sure. But yeah, the extra 10 seconds and being over halfway through the race definitely does play into the hands of Scotland. Let's see, James Glen and James Matcham both out the pits. That shows you how close the field still is. Thomas, overall race leader, he's coming to the pits. Oh, now this might not be what he was looking for, and I can guarantee you it's not. He's got Flint and Matcham just ahead of him, the Silver and Arm drivers, and yet to take their pits. Jongen has come in to the pits, so has Thierry from the Wildcards. Athenstad has followed suit. There goes Ramovsky in the pits as well. Of course, they can look at the extra corner exit speed that Thomas has got in the Aston Martin, but the control that he's got with the Porsche ahead of him, absolute millimetres from him. The Porsche's pulled right over. I think he realises just how quick Thomas is. He's moved out of the way, but the control there by Thomas, absolutely spot on behind the Porsche there. Completely different characteristics. He's just flown back up the field. 9th place as more cars come in and out of the pits. Callum Scotland has stayed out. We can see there Jongen, Thierry Athenstad, Gromowski all in. Flint coming in as well. Arnaud De La Sousse doing well in the silvers at the moment. We'll see what his position is when everyone else comes out of the pits. Fabian Goldie, of course, tough start to the race, but the Rapid Racing driver is recovering. Definitely is still on for a top 10, if not potentially a top 5 position. Dare we hope. Omar Ashraf just having a bit of an incident past the pit lane. Scott Tysers back into the pits for a second stop. Van der Steeg serving the stop go, 30-second penalty. And Scotland is still 2.7 seconds ahead. And yeah, this is, as you're saying, Sean, it's a very good position for Scotland to be in with 26 minutes left to go. A 3-second gap and a 10-second advantage in the pits. The overall race win is going to be a bit of an ask, with Michael Thomas doing some very good work at the start of this, but he is making his way through traffic at the moment, and it has to be said, Thomas absolutely as gentlemanly and sportsmanlike as you could ask for, carving his way through this traffic.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he just getting past a couple of drivers coming into the pits. In fact, it's 4 drivers coming into the pits now in Bell, Gibson, Lund and Matcham. So propels himself up into the top 5, with the drivers in front of him having to pit, John.
Indeed, yeah, so great drive by him. The race win looking all but sewn up, but the pro win. Definitely not sewn up, but definitely not an uphill task for Scotland at the moment. As you can see, Basteri into the pits as well. Tom Wegman up to 21st position overall, so a phenomenal comeback drive. Not only started 44th from a quali ban, he picked up a fair bit of damage. It wasn't the quickest of pit stops. It certainly wasn't the slowest, but yeah, had to get a bit of damage repaired, back out, and yeah, 21st position overall, so up 23 on his start. Luke Sherlock, one of the big gainers at the moment as well, he's up 16 spots in the silvers to be threatening a podium at this pace, I would say. As we can see, Eustaloon just popping in and out of the timing there. He is, of course, in the silvers as well. I cannot find him for looking. Vine in 23rd place overall. And Chris Bell, though, with an incredible race, up 10 positions. And at the moment is leading the way in the silvers. Loon comes out of the pits and he looks like he's outside the top 3. So Chris Bell, Sean, having an incredible race so far, and kept his head down, got the job done. 13th place overall and leading the way in the silvers with a 10 position overall gain. Can't ask for much more than that with 23 minutes to go.
Yeah, it certainly worked out beautifully for Chris Bell here. He's got quite a comfortable lead over his next rival, which will be De La Zeus. We are talking over 10 seconds, the gap. So with 23 minutes remaining, just about churning lap after lap, nice, solid, consistent laps, and hoping that he can bring it home for the silvers, John.
Yes, indeed he will be. Hoping to bring it through, bring it home for his adoring fans. It will be Mike van der Hoek for the Fast and the Furious team. We do have someone in the chat cheering him on. Obviously that's the window that decides to close on me. RWB2. Thank you very much for tuning in. There is Mike on track. There's Damien Konzig coming in to the pit. Scotland, of course, has been in and out. I say, of course. Yep, that was very quick. We were further down the field when it happened. Oh, look at them catching up on the Audi as well. So more blue flags, more cars coming out the pits and settling back into position. Scotland will be hoping to get back ahead of Damien Konzig. Tice Payne still to take his pit stop as well. Van der Hoek catching up to the blue flag. He's got Thierry in the wild cards ahead of him, but Djongen directly ahead of him. And that is for a podium position in the pros, depending on where Tice Payne comes back out. Oh, Damien Konzig with a stop-go 30-second penalty, Sean. Let's not talk about Mike van der Hoek's overtaking, catching up. Let's talk about championship leader and the returning champion, Damien Konzig. Stop-go 30-second. Jerome Jongen has got himself a podium.
Indeed, yeah. It's funny how the race can be spun on its head, that is for sure. And yeah, Konzig of course was pushing, because we did know that he had the 10-second success penalty to serve, so looked to try and get out the pits as quick as possible. Unfortunately has picked up that stop go 30-second, and well, when I was saying how comfortable it was for Scotland perhaps getting his first ever win in the pros, well, that has made it that little bit easier for him, John.
It really has. Fascinating battle breaking out here as well. Andre Thierry in the wildcards has just set the fastest sector 1 of the race. He is moving at a clip. The Lexus pretty good in the straight line, as some might say. Anyone that's raced against one will know just how quick this thing is in a straight line. It can be a nightmare in the handling department, but if you can tame the beast, you can put in some good lap times. Jerome Jongen will be acutely aware of the situation ahead of him. He is hunting for a podium in the pros. Even if Thierry gets past him, he's still getting the pro podium, with Thierry being and in the wild cards and Van der Hoek. Now he might have been looking ahead, Sean, but at the moment he has a driver that we saw earlier in the race, and we know he is keen for an overtake. Oh, as he gets a bit too keen into turn number 1. Slight curse of the commentator there. But this isn't a battle that's going to be any time soon for Mike Van der Hoek, with Kolesnikov closing in that Merc.
Yes, indeed, yeah, and certainly we've seen that the AMG is pretty good in a straight line, so that gap should be tumbling down as we approach the inner loop now. And yeah, we've already seen the pace of Kolesnikov in that AMG. As it, maybe a commentator's curse there, John, because it did look like he went a little bit sideways out of the inner loop there, which is very easily done, John.
Very easily done, and definitely one you want to do as few times as possible. There is the stop-go, 30-second penalty cleared for Damien Konzig. He is now down in 20th position. Isn't it incredible how the sim racing gods work? Would anybody before the race have put money on Tom Wegman and Damien Konzig battling for 19th position, with Chris Vining closing in from 21st?
It's absolutely crazy. Can't believe my eyes. Yeah, Van der Steeg, Wegman, Konzig and Vining all battling. Well, I mean, there's a few gaps between, but you know, find themselves overall P18, 19, 20 and 21. And yeah, certainly Wegman obviously been in the wars. He started from last position because he wasn't able to qualify, so it's certainly throwing up a bit of a mix here, John, and I'm loving it.
Absolutely loving it. You see these battles right through the field constantly at QRT. Two of the quick drivers, they've had incidents, they've had issues. They are going to make it to the checkered flag, and they're going to bring home that haul of points as Wegman and Konzig. 2/10 separating these two. Vining is 14 seconds down. Just behind them, Sherlock Wilson and Robert Webber, the lead Webber at the moment in a three-way battle for 6th position in the silvers. Sherlock having a good race so far. We are trying to cover as many drivers as we can. There is so much going on. I am beside myself. Oh, as Webber has a mistake on the way out of the penultimate corner, and Wilson's going to catch up. Not Wilson, sorry, Goldie is going to catch up and get him a crack at a position. Look, Sherlock is certainly feeling. Oh, and he's gone wide on the exit. He's hit the wall, and on the way down the hill, it's going to be Wilson for QRT that is going to say thank you very much. Into the 90, they're going to be side by side, and we're going to see a McLaren appear behind a McLaren. Oh, and Mike Wilson's on wide on the exit. That's going to give, look, Sherlock a good run up the hill. Surely at this point it's all about Sherlock. Look how much closer he's getting there. Wilson getting absolutely no drive out of the first corner. Not the easiest place to go side by side up that hill, and Sherlock realising that wholeheartedly, but he's got so much more pace, almost bump drafting. Oh, Wilson moving from the middle right back over onto the outside line, and he has just about made it over those curves. They've both survived the exit curves as Webber looking to close back in. Love the sight of those flames firing out the back. But we're going to have to get back on to Wegman and Konzig. And just ahead of them is Van der Steeg.
Wow. So, well, we already know the pedigree of Wegman and Konzig, super fast drivers, and Van der Steeg is no slouch at that either, and so there could be a three-way battle going for overall P18, which is, well, I'll bring it on, John, because this is phenomenal in the last quarter of the race as well, John.
Yeah, right in the dying embers of the race. The flames have been fanned, and the action is going to be even thicker and even faster than we've seen so far. Ranier Athenstad looking to take his place in the overtake of the season awards. He has got Glen Choi as a dance partner, and that could be quite the tango that these two play out in the closing 15 minutes. We're going to have to speak to QRT about getting these races extended to 90 minutes. We've got Thierry as well looking for an overall podium. We've got Jerome Jongen, keeper of said overall podium. And because of that stop go, as I say, that podium's guaranteed. Oh, and Van der Hoek is ahead. Van der Hoek has got ahead of Kolesnikov as well. Wow. Phenomenal driving. Wow, we have missed that. Apologies to Mike's fans in the chat. I know he's been getting cheered on. But yeah, he is, he's not overtaken. He's still got Kolesnikov behind him, but he is extending the gap, So he was ahead. Kolesnikov was closing. Van der Hoek has stayed ahead. His position has improved because we've got Konzig down the road. He got a stop-go 30-second penalty, and it's put him from 3rd place overall to 20th position. And it is absolutely not what you want to see when you come out of the pits. One of the fastest drivers on the grid, making his way through the field from a quali ban. But that is the glorious headache these two have been gifted. The glorious part, of course, we get to watch these two duel out once again. Wasn't long ago these two were separated by nothing more than 0.4 of a second for an entire race. So there's some kind of deja vu going on here for Damien Konzig. He absolutely can't believe his luck. Oh, Wegman with the indicators there. Is he carrying a bit of damage? Or has he just left them on from earlier maybe? But Konzig certainly looking a quicker. No, he's not. He's let him past.
Yeah, it does look like that. It seemed like Konzig had a lot more overspeed to Wegman there, and with the indicator would suggest that he's let him through. So not 100% sure. Maybe perhaps working as a team to try and finish as high up as possible. But we do know the professionals that these two drivers are, where they're not used to being this far down the grid. So perhaps Wegman trying to work with Konzig and try and finish as high as possible, but they have got some gap to try and catch up to the next pro driver, which is Athenstead, who currently holds P11 overall, and that is P9 for the pros. So with 12 minutes remaining, John, I don't know if it's possible, but if anyone can do it, it is certainly Konzig and Wegman.
Indeed, yeah, half a second separate them. The two of Van der Steeg just up the road, so yeah, could well be working together. Michael Thomas has worked well with the cars around him, that is for absolutely sure, and he has not put a foot wrong this entire race. It has been an absolute Watkins Glen masterclass from the Aston Martin driver. 12 minutes to go, he's looking good for the win. 20 seconds ahead of pro leader Callum Scotland, who's got himself 13 seconds back to not championship leader Damien Konzig, but Jerome Jongen for QRT in the Mustang. Will that remain an overall podium? Andre Thierry definitely might have something to say about that. The Lexus driver in the wild cards won't disrupt Jongen's second spot on the podium, on the pro podium with the overtake, but will take him off the overall podium. 2 wild cards on the overall podium. Penalties ahoy! It's been an incredible season. We're only 3 races in, almost 3 races in, 11 minutes to go. Get your abacus out, get your calculator out. Consistency points up for grabs as well. This is going to go down to the wire, both in this race and the entire championship. The Lexus once again looking to get the run up the hill to find that sniff of slipstream to get side by side, at least side by side with Jongen, into the braking zone. Look like you're going to pose a threat. See if you can force a mistake. Jongen at the minute absolutely flawless. He has barely flinched so far. Both of them absolutely all over the curves through the inner loop. And Thierry with a really good run on the inside curve. This is beautiful stuff between these two, Jongen and Thierry, just absolutely sizing one another up at the moment. The Lexus looking good, but so too is the Mustang, Sean.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I was just taking a little bit of a look with the championship as well, because of course, as you mentioned, Scotland currently P1, Jongen P2. And yeah, Thierry, who is part of the wildcards, just an absolute phenomenal drive from him, and of course, overall the top. It'll be the two wildcards in the top three. But looking at the points, John, yeah, Scotland currently P6 in the championship, Jongen currently P5. So this is certainly going to be valuable results for Scotland and Jongen, and really close the gap at the top of the championship.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to, yeah, and the success balance then for next week as well is going to keep things even more interesting for the drivers. It's certainly going to keep it even more interesting for us as we are at Silverstone next week. Oh, yes.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, indeed. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. We've got Tice Payne going to get past Declan Brogan, who's had a phenomenal comeback drive as well. Got caught with a bit of a tap in the rear end, but he's recovered beautifully. He's ahead of Payne at the minute. And he is 5th place in the pros, Payne in 6th position. As was pointed out, and very, very, very good drive indeed. Damien Konzik is closed right up on the back of Van der Steeg, and this is for points paying positions. There's 5 non-pro drivers ahead of him, so 12th and 13th up for grabs. But as we've seen, lap 1 penalties lose you 3 points in the standings, as well as getting a drive-through penalty from the stewards. That's phenomenal return. It really does help you focus on lap number 1, and the consistency points as well, so bringing home every point you can from every single race, absolutely essential. So Konzik and Van der Steeg are definitely going to duel this one out. Tice Payne not giving up the hunt on Declan Brogan's situation, and Thierry still sizing up Jongen. Do we think maybe at this stage, Sean, that Thierry is just purely biding his time, doesn't want to be the driver giving away the slipstream, or would that maybe be downplaying Jongen's ability to keep the car ahead? Either theory could be correct here, because it's exactly the way it's playing out.
Well, they're you know, both cars are very fast in a straight line, but it does seem like the Mustang tends to be the fastest in a straight line. So I think that Jongen is just about holding his own through the corners, although he's just got a little bit wide on the entrance to the outer loop there. So that would have lost him a little bit of time to Thierry, and we'll see if he can withstand the pressure to Thierry as we go through the technical section, through the chute and on to the toe. And we know, John, that getting a good exit out of the toe will set you up for a move down the end of the boot.
Did it well, yeah, but the Lexus not close enough this time around. Oh, Tice Payne is ahead of Declan Brogan. He's got the overtake done. Let us jump back and see if we can catch that. Oh, and it's out of the first corner then. It's a much better run. He's got the inside line, which will turn into the outside line at the midsection of the corner. But before they even got onto the back straight, it is Tice Payne got himself ahead once again of Declan Brogan. They've got 5 minutes left to decide who is going to finish ahead of who in 5th place. Oh yeah, that's a cracking race between these two at the minute. Absolutely love to see it. Van der Hoek, you can see they're just up the road. Kolesnik out in the Mercedes. We're going to see Tice Payne catch up to the Merc.
And also as well, John, did we mention about Wegman? Because I did notice something there.
He came in the pits. I think he was carrying damage or under fuel, but Wegman, I did see, came in for a second pit stop.
Oh, okay. That would explain
and he
it
was
then.
in for a second, almost a second longer in his second pit stop than he was in for his first.
Right, okay, that would make sense. Yeah, because we did say that Wegman let Konzik through. We thought that maybe they were working together to try and... contact!
Oh.
Big... it's Papai, isn't it? Papai.
Yes.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, 2 doesn't go into 1 there, and it looked like both of them wanted the entrance to the inner loop there. So let's have a look on the replay, and John, explain what happened.
Indeed, yeah, so the 2 BMWs, as you say, 2 does not go into 1 into the inner loop. The Synergy car right up on the I side, and yeah, the 2 of them came together right on the racing line, and it's Christophe Papai. That is a lot of damage. In fact, because he's jumped back to the pits, it's auto repaired on his feet. Oh, Damien Konzik, heavy on the brakes. That is an absolute save by Konzik there, making his way back through the field. 17th position overall. We saw him go past Wegman most recently. He's catching up to the Mustang. There's no way he's close enough here to be in the dirty air from the Mustang ahead, so we'll see minor driver error from Konzik. Oh, just too much of that inside curve. It's totally unsettled him. Wow.
Well held though.
That looked like a lowrider you would see in the hood, bouncing on the bouncing on the springs there. The way that kicked up at the back, that is a phenomenal save there from Damien Konzik. It's not quite going to cost him a position to Van der Steeg. He has gotten ahead. Van der Steeg now just behind with the sideways moving Mercedes, to say the least. Michael Thomas still leading the way, and Kolesnikov doesn't look like he... now have Aiden broken swap positions again. No, they have not. My apologies. Looking at it the wrong way round. It is Kolesnikov. Oh, now, well, I was going to say Kolesnikov not looking in his rear view mirror. They've just gone past the blue flag. That is how close the Mercedes is. So Declan Brogan might be in 6th position in the pros, but that could easily be 3rd place, given that 3rd place is not far ahead. So Van der Hoek, he's shown us his mettle as far as getting the overtakes done in the racecraft, but with 3 minutes to go, Sean, that podium is by no means nailed on for the Dutch driver.
Yeah, his position does look rather precarious to Kolesnikov, who's really close to the back of the Ferrari driver there. And as we get into turn 1, this is the all-important corner. Can Van der Hoek get a good exit? Oh, it looks like he got a better exit than Kolesnikov, who went massively wide off the circuit, and it does look like Van der Hoek will be able to hold on to that podium position in the pros for the time being, but it does look like Tice Payne then would have gained a fair chunk of time to Kolesnikov. So certainly with 2 minutes remaining, John, this is really cooking up nicely.
It really is, yeah. Oh, and there's a big mistake on the way into the outer loop as well. The Mercedes driver all at sea over those first 2 sectors on this lap there. It's cost him a lot of time, and it's not just cost him time to Van der Hoek ahead, it has cost him time to the McLaren driver behind. The QRT Esports machine is about to fly through this boot section, and the Mercedes is going to be paying a whole lot of attention to his rear view mirror. Van der Hoek could well be grateful for the unintentional backup being provided by Payne at the minute, but that could be what helps seal this podium seat for Van der Hoek. It is a 3-way ping-pong battle between these 3 drivers. Declan Brogan now 2.6 seconds down the road. Oh, and look how much better on the brakes than McLaren is, and he's having to put in a whole lot of extra steering in to keep that thing going in the direction he intended. Into the penultimate corner once again. 33 laps in. It's still undecided who's finishing on the pro podium and who's finishing on the overall podium, as Thierry and Jongen are still only separated by 0.7 of a second. Michael, least camera time in the whole entire race. Thomas, he's got the fastest lap. He took pole position in the mixed qualifying conditions, and he has taken this race by absolute storm in the wildcard. So Michael, my apologies for the lack of camera time. Massive kudos for the race you have run. It has been absolutely exemplary, but there is still overtaking on the horizon, so we're going to jump back to 5th, 6th and 7th, Sean, and a worthy place to go, because this is what we love to see. Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, a solid mix, some incredibly
and he's going for the... Oh, I thought he was going for the move there, John. Yeah, so the McLaren driver of Tyce Payne looking to get a nose up the inside of the chute, but thought better of it and tried to maybe get the best opportunity out of two.
Apologies, I'm going to interrupt you there, I'm sorry, because Michael Thomas, I thought he had another lap to go, but he's just crossed the line and taken the checkered flag. Michael, let us get a rewind on that. So there we go. My apologies, Michael. Here is the race win. Sorry to jump over Sean that way, right in the middle of that overtake, but we will come back to it. But this is, he's hardly had any camera time and he has not put a foot wrong. We need to go back and watch this again. Michael Thomas taking the checkered flag. Incredible work, Michael. Absolute kudos. It will be Callum Scotland, who might already have the checkered flag. In fact, here we can see him coming round the penultimate corner himself, and he has taken the pro win. There he is there. Oh, it's one of the things I'm famously known for, unfortunately, is audio issues and missing the winners across the line because I'm so engrossed in the overtakes. But Callum Scotland, take a bow. First pro pole position and first pro win to follow. One driver we will see live crossing the line will be Chris Bell. Confirmation on those final finishing positions in the pro podium, though. Van der Hoek did round out the pro podium just ahead of Kolesnikov, and Tyce Payne finishing there in 5th position overall, and it is Gromowski who has taken the top spot in the AMS, just behind Chris Bell. Matcham, I believe, is a wild card, so it's Bisteri who finishes in 2nd place. He is way down the order at the moment, and we will get a quick look at the results. We're definitely going to grab the highlights from that and show an extended set at the end. I'm all over the place right now, Sean, I'm going to be honest. Thomas, Thierry, and the results have just disappeared.
Oh God.
The results have just disappeared, but yeah, I think we can all agree. Congratulations to the podium, and thank you QRT for constantly putting these races on, Sean. Watkins, Glen and QRT is a combination that always promised great things, and it is somewhat of an understatement to say it delivered.
Yes, 100%, John. It was very similar to Spa in the last round, where there was a lot of last lap action where we just didn't know where to focus, really. But yeah, there's been certainly a lot of movers and shakers and surprises. And again, congratulations to Scotland for his first win in the pros. Congratulations, of course, to Thomas getting the overall P1 in the wildcards. And also, what I did gather was first place going to Bell for the silvers, and I missed the amateurs, unfortunately, John, but there was so much action. It didn't matter if it was at the top of the grid, in the middle or towards the bottom. It was an absolute pleasure to watch, and something I always come to expect here at Watkins Glen, John.
Indeed, yeah, what an opening season 4 has had. It's all back catalogued as well on YouTube. Thank you for the continued support on behalf of QRT and indeed Ravencoms for watching the broadcast and watching them again on YouTube, subscribing to the channel. The racing absolutely speaks for itself. Sean and I get the treat and privilege of having front row seats. That is Valencia, Spa and Watkins Glen in the rear view mirror. Our engineers now keenly eye the apexes of Silverstone, Donington Park, Kyalami to round out the season. Oh yes, you can hear the absolute excitement in my voice. I can only hope. We are absolutely looking forward to those races, but never fear, we will be back on Sunday. In fact, Saturday. What am I talking about? Saturday is 10 hours of Kyalami, the Help for Heroes charity. That race will be on. There will be at least 6 hours of coverage, and you can buy penalties for your competitors. You can buy penalties for drivers in the race even if you're not racing. All donations will go to charity, all penalties, all ballast that is added, it'll all go to charity, and you can even pay to take the ballast of penalties off as well. And guess what? That all goes to charity too. That's right. So, sign up for the race. It's Kyalami, it's 10 hours, it is an incredibly worthy cause. Get signed up, make sure you give the piggy bank a good old shake. Every little helps. There's a donation link in the Discord chat, and again, live penalties during the race to penalise your... in fact, I even had a race recently where we did this, and someone jumped out with a car about 2 o'clock in the morning and bought his best friend 30 kilograms of ballast in a drive-through penalty. And went to bed with a smile on his face, knowing that he'd got one over on his mate and he'd made the donation to charity. Incredible scene. So yeah, get yourself signed up for that, and make sure you set your calendars. There will be coverage on Saturday, and then again the Sunday Night League GT3s and Porsche Cup cars. If you're a Porsche Cup driver, get signed up. An incredible car against the GT3s, and a couple of drivers have dropped out. Get yourself signed up and get joining in. We've also had a few more in the chat. We did have MadChip27 with the follow. Thank you so much for following QRT. We did ban a couple of bots as well, which is always a nice feeling. And we had Dan in the chat, will you be doing the QRT Kyalami race, Raven? Yes, we will be covering a vast chunk of that. Indeed, as I was just saying, yep, so make sure you sign in. Mike, last round, let's go. Big fan of Mike, says Leon Wessels in the chat. He's my nephew. Nice. Great to see family cheering everyone on. Thank you again to everyone that's followed this evening. Thanks to everyone that's been in the chat. Mike Scottish was in there as well. Congrats on the first win. And a big thank you, of course, to the man joining me in the comedy box tonight and for the whole season, the legend that is Mr. Sean Madden.
Thank you, as always, John. And yeah, good night to everyone. And bring on... oh, I forgot what it is now. Silverstone, yep.
Bring it on, indeed. We'll leave you with the rest of the highlights. We will see you all on Saturday. Be there or be bitterly disappointed. The racing will be off the charts, and again, it's for a great cause. But until then, enjoy the highlights, and we will see you then. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.